Starting with Amit Wadhwani, partner real estate, Khaitan and Company. Amit brings over 17 plus years of experience in real estate matters, specializing in title investigation of land and premises. He's somebody who frequently advises on RERA matters and on rules, regulations, and guidelines issued by government bodies. Thank you so much. Please, gentlemen, please may be seated. Let's give them a big, big round of applause. We also have with us Lalit Lahoti, Regional Head Mumbai Sobha Limited. Lalit brings over 3 decades of comprehensive experience across real estate and construction, including the experience of working both in India and UAE. He's been a part of the Sobha group for the last 8 years, handling different responsibilities. Let's give Lalit a big, big round of applause. Thank you so much, Lalit, for joining us. May we also have the opportunity of calling upon Milind Changani, co-founder Stallion Buildtech, LLP, and partner CY Corp. An architect member Naretco and CMDWA, co-chairman Redevelopment MCHI Mumbai. He's somebody who brings more than 20 years of experience of running 150 projects, working with brands across the residential development, schools, and commercial projects. Thank you so much, Milind, for giving us your valuable time and joining us. May we also have an opportunity of calling upon Nitesh Gangaramani, Managing Director, Nyshaa Realty. A visionary who believes in building beyond structure, he builds trust, relationships, and communities. As Managing Director of Nyshaa Realty, he's redefined the real estate landscape with projects that stand for transparency, innovation, and sustainability. Under his leadership, Nyshaa Realty has embraced redevelopment as an opportunity for transformation. Let's give Nitesh a big, big round of applause as we welcome him on board. We'd also like to invite on stage Sanjay Daga, founder and CEO of Annex Advisory, the driving force behind the enterprise with expertise in CA and law, with the esteemed companies of Puravankara and Runwal Developers, where he commanded as the COO, and before that as a business head at Kalpataru Limited for 9 monumental years. Well, his influence has transformed the industry. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's give Sanjay once again a big, big round of applause. And to complete the panel, of course, I'd like to have the humble opportunity of calling upon Sanjay Kalale, the founder and managing director of True Realty. He founded the company to solve the core problems of real estate sector, the lack of transparency and accountability. True Realty creates an ecosystem benefiting the community at large by leveraging IT and tech-enabled products, thereby delivering superior products to the end customer by fostering the healthy competition through the stakeholder aggregation. Thank you so much, Sujay, for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'd like to hand on the opportunity to Dr. Advocate Harshal Savla to take forward with the proceedings of today. Once again, let's give our panel a mighty round of applause, please.
Super. So redevelopment is the buzzword in Indian real estate right now. I think full of action, the frenzy just doesn't stop. I think every year we think that the steam will go out, but new benchmarks are set. Double the area, 100%, 155%, these are now common offers which are rolling out. And, pre the panel, we had a very interesting conversation. Fortunately, we have a good mix. We have solicitor, we have an international brand, we have local brands, we have a design and a liaison architect, and consultants as well. So, it's a good mix to discuss redevelopment. I'm going to straight away come into a common question for all the panelists. Since we have a diverse profile, the idea is to get different perspectives. The way Mumbai redevelopment is going, it's all over the news every second day. How do you see Mumbai evolving as a city in the next 10 years? And I'm sure with equal push from infrastructure as well. So overall, how do you see redevelopment shaping up? Is it a bubble which is in the making? Are we making ghettos? Are we making too dense projects, high rises? 3-floor buildings giving up shape to 21-floor buildings was the headline day before. So, what is it? Are your thoughts? We'll start in this round and then we'll go to specific questions. So, what is it, Sujay, your thoughts are?
Thank you, Harshul. I think it's a brilliant question to start the discussion. I think one fundamental change that we have seen over the last 5 years and which will only increase the trend over the next decade, like you mentioned, historically Mumbai has been a very linear city with southern Mumbai, South Mumbai markets dictating the price. And as you go away from South Mumbai, the price benchmarking towards the northern Mumbai prices getting benchmarked to South Mumbai. With the infrastructure, coastal road, metro, and upcoming projects shaping up, now we see more circularity in the pricing. So now lakh rupees per square feet, for example, is no longer domain of only South Mumbai. We saw a project on Turner Road crossing 1,11,000 rupees in the registered thing. Recently, there was a transaction in Borivali where a 4-bedroom was sold for 2,500 square feet was transacted at 8.5 crore, which was something great. So no longer I feel prices would be benchmarked to South. Each micro market will have its own pricing and partly driven by the infrastructure developments over the coming decade.
I think very valid point. At least there are 6 micro markets where 1 lakh rupee a foot is common. Central Mumbai rates are now seen in Borivali. Very great, good observations. I think this is pretty much where Mumbai is going. One city, one price. What are your thoughts, Sanjay?
Good afternoon, guys. I completely agree with the thought process of Sujay. Infrastructure has really given the boost to the redevelopment across the city. I see a lot of things happening in the last few years which will take Mumbai to the next level of metro cities or a financial capital of the world. Basically because now no more the connectivity, which was the biggest challenge for the city's growth, has been addressed. And now already the city is landlocked. There is a scarcity of land, and we see a lot of redevelopment happening with the development potential being given as bonuses to develop vertically. That's where the city is taking the next level of growth, which is properly supported by the infrastructure development. So the concept which was there before of staying in suburbs and working in CBDs is going to go away shortly, and there will be a walk-to-work concept coming up in different micro markets of the cities. This is what could be evident, especially in western suburbs and central suburbs, where earlier the office spaces were centralized to Nariman Point, Kolaba, to BKC, etc., etc. Now these are all getting decentralized because of the affordability issue, as well as with the walk-to-work concept, where the commutation is always the biggest challenge in Mumbai. But with the metro, with the coastal road, with the other ring roads infrastructure coming in place in next 10 years, I see a lot of development happening around, and people going into the concept of walk-to-work concept. This is what I see, and I see city going into a right direction under the leadership and guidance of of course, the political parties as well as the development authorities. Hopefully the prices should get sustained. And the demand and supply is matched, and we don't get into any kind of mismatch in demand and supplies over the period of time.
So I think every micro market has become a CBD's, absolutely the theme with which Mumbai is evolving, and rightfully so. MMR is almost 1/3 of India's real estate in terms of organized sales. What are your thoughts, Nitesh, on the ground realities?
Well, first of all, very good afternoon to you guys, and thank you, Harshal. Well, I would say Mumbai, in terms of scalability, is about 6,238 square millimeters. We have a population of about 26 million people who live in Mumbai. Now, redevelopment, why it's a must, I feel, it's been 76 years of independence, which India got, almost 76, 77 years, after which there have been buildings which have been 40, 50 years old, where I am a structural engineer by profession. I am a civil engineer, as well as I did my MBA from Manchester. I have visited sites. I have seen that the structures are unsafe. So I personally feel that we're looking beyond. First, redevelopment is a necessity, but there are also challenges. So the place where I grew up in Ville Parle, It's a property which was made in 1979, and still from last 10 years, I've been challenging to convince my people there to go for redevelopment, because there are some emotional constraints where my grandmother doesn't want to move out of her house. She says my grandfather passed away there. So I feel it's a need of the hour that we need to have some counselors, we need to have some people, sessions to educate senior citizens that it is necessity, it is something safety for you. In the same society, which is 6 acres, Snehadara in Ville Parle, there was a slab collapse on the second floor of the building. And it is something as a threat. Now coming to Vision 2035, under the honorable leadership of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi Saab and our Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, we are thankful for the coastal road. I never used to go to meet my lawyers in town. Now I make a point that I meet them in town because of the flexibility of coastal road. There is Virar Alibag corridor coming. There is Borivali Mulund corridor coming. There is again Sivri Worli connectivity coming. So I feel the way we look at Hong Kong and Singapore, I don't find there is no looking back for Mumbai in the next 10 years to be as beautiful as Singapore and Hong Kong. Only thing what I feel is sustainability and environment is something we need to take care of, because this is the future and redevelopment is a necessity. It is not something where we have an option. We need to get these buildings vertically built and optimize spaces. There was a concept before where people used to say, I have an office in BKC, I have an office in Nariman Point. Now if you ask me, we are coming up with communities where in cluster development, we are planning a commercial building, we are planning retail, we are planning affordable housing in the same vicinity, so that the travel time is being cut off. There was a saying that in Hindi, my due respect to you all, Niche Dukaan, Upar Makan. I feel that is something which we are looking at in the near future. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Well, absolutely. Niche Dukaan, Upar Makan is required to make the project feasible also. So from that sense. But I'll tell you, you spoke about coastal road and there's an amazing fact. The stretch from Worli to Nariman Point is actually fully funded by a premium which real estate developers pay called the fungible premium.
Absolutely
it's
true.
a developer fraternity which has contributed financially towards the making of that stretch. But of course, yeah.
But sir, I'll tell you one thing, sir, with due respect to you, being a businessman, time is money. For me, 1 hour of saving of time is equivalent to X amount of wealth, X amount of expertise, which I can put on some projects. So definitely the money has gone into of huge premiums in the projects, but as long as it adds value. And see, I have been in Dubai for about 8 years. I have met His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, and I have seen the kind of vision he has for his country. The same vision I can see in the eyes of our Honorable Prime Minister. So trust me, I think 10 years we are going to be again in Hindi, I want to say word Sone ki chidiya. I pray God that everything falls in place.
Great. Milind sir, you've seen from close quarters the way the whole redevelopment story is playing, right from boutique projects to cluster, the way it is shaping up. How do you see redevelopment shaping Mumbai, and what are the present trends in your sight for redevelopment?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Harshul. So, boutique projects are very individualistic projects, and they deal with micro level. And what we don't realize is, हम लोग आज सोचते हैं कि ये building यहाँ बनेगा, next day, next बाजू में दूसरा building बन जाएगा. So our solutions are very localized and they are not holistic in nature. Whereas cluster development, I think the challenge is at a very macro level. You are thinking of not just individual planning, but you're thinking of various land parcels coming together, various stakeholders coming together. You're thinking of vertical transportation, horizontal circulation, and a lot more challenges. And as we all discuss, livability, whether sustainability, I think cluster is one thing. You know, if there are lead consultants present here, they can vouch कि भाई अगर 10 individual project किए and 1 cluster किया, the waste generation is 40 to 60% lower in a cluster. If there are developers, they know that the cost in cluster is 30% lower than an individual cost of any project. If there are architects, they know that now they are going to design in a holistic manner where you don't have overlooking of flats, you have better light ventilation, you have better amenities, you have better facilities. Livability is better in a cluster development. So I think if Mumbai has to move forward, we are getting vertical, we are getting denser, we are going to be much more complex. Infrastructure, even though it's there, I have a personal feeling that it's not sufficient enough. It needs at least 8x boost from what is being currently happening. Otherwise, we're going to crumble down to a certain extent. Matlab, it's good to transport from one point to another like coastal road and it's getting extended further down. But internal circulation also needs much more thinking and out-of-the-box thinking from the government level at a policy level. And now is the time. I think we are poised at a redevelopment boom. It's not going to stop. We need to move forward with the large-scale development.
Sir, I would like to add on infrastructure. I have also in the past been as an infrastructure contractor. We did a project in JNPT, which was an SEZ project. You will be surprised to know that Prime Minister of India, who was busy traveling for so many days abroad, he's been busy with so many agendas. PMO was specially monitoring JNPT, Pune Metro projects. I had PMO team monitoring from Delhi, coming to JNPT every month and ensuring that timely delivery of projects. So sir, I would say that being a contractor now, there has been a change after BJP has come into force. And with the new government, I assure you that in the next 8 to 10 years, you will see a big boom in the infrastructure. Because I have personally experienced. So this project was for 42 months. We delivered it in 36 months. There was a project NBCC Gujarat Bhavan, which was for 38 months. We delivered it in 31 months and we were awarded by Mr. Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It was inaugurated by Narendra Modi Saab in Delhi Lutens. So guys, Mumbai is changing, India is changing, India is shining. Let's have faith in our country. Recently, my friend was in London. I don't want to mention his name. He was at Night Village. He was wearing a Rolex watch. He was being robbed and he was stabbed. It was there in the newspaper. Luckily, he didn't die. He reached the hospital. So we are fortunate and thankful to Mumbai Police and Fadnavis Saab that we have governance, we have safety, security. This country, after Dubai, I feel, is the safest city to live. This is what my opinion is, Saab.
Absolutely.
Absolutely fine. But I think we need to keep challenging it.
Absolutely. We are extremely excited to see Shobha on panel and to see Shobha come in Mumbai. Mumbai was extremely excited for DLF. We've seen the best of corporates, whether from corporate India or international developers and pan-India developers coming into Mumbai. And Mumbai, the beauty is, welcomes everyone. And there's a lot of excitement. So I would like to know from you how Shobha sees Mumbai redevelopment. What are your thoughts personally on the way Mumbai is placed?
So first thing, thank you everyone. And we are very happy to be in Mumbai. That's the way I'll start. Redevelopment is a necessity right now for Mumbai. There is no second thought about it. We feel it's a little too ambitious right now, the way it is shaping up, but it's going to be transformative. It's going to completely change the horizons that the city sees today. Coupled with the kind of infra commute which the panel already has shared, I think it's also going to help probably 10, 12, 15 micro markets, whether it is the rate per square feet or whatever measures and yardsticks we talk about. It's going to have a good level, and thereby the kind of pressure we had in particular pockets of the city is going to reduce, and that's the benefit. So I would say redevelopment coupled with a huge boom on the infra, this is what is going to be the decade ahead.
I think that's a very valid point, because Mumbai witnessed 3D traffic recently, 3 levels of traffic jams. The SCLR bridge opened up and now we had 3 levels and all 3 were packed. So I think the point Milind made that, we need 8x infrastructure is so true, because all this redevelopment that comes, although government's really doing fantastic, before you jump in, Nitesh. So
Sir, Rome was not built in a day. Please, it's been 2014 from the time our Prime Minister has come. Give him some time. Everything cannot be built in a day, but I trust that things are changing? Because
No, no,
I have, sir, with due respect, I used to run a infrastructure company. I used to run a PMC company by the name of William and Jones. I had an architecture and interior designing company. Now I'm a developer. I have also been past developer in Dubai. So I have worn different hats, and being an engineer myself, the reason of coming to India back from Dubai was I find that there is a big change. Well, we will just wait for the right time to come, but I'm with you. There are challenges, but if we are one and if we are together, we can make this country proud in the next 10 years for sure.
Amit, you've observed redevelopment from 4 quarters. You know, society members, developers, lenders, tenants. What is your perspective on the way? And, the biggest challenge right now is the legal contracts, because, they are so very important, because that is absolutely the first step towards fructifying a project. So what is your view? And give me a stakeholder perspective on real estate redevelopment right now and the way things are that comes to your table.
Sure. Sure, thank you. At the outset, thank you for having us over here. It's a really good elite panel on to discuss these issues. Picking up from the tug of war with Milind and Nitesh are having, I'm sure they'll agree to one thing, that the rain gods are favoring the developer. We don't have to create a cloud like Dubai for water scarcity, because we see a 7-floor building being constructed into a 40-floor building. Where is the water going to come from in future? Thankfully, gods have been great. On the infrastructure, one thing we should be proud of, if we see the skyline over here, we see the skyline there. If you come from the ceiling, it's a very proud moment. Absolutely. You see. It is very close to what you see in Singapore or in Dubai. Nitesh would agree with that, even Milind would agree with that. I mean, we used to see from the skyline only Palai Royal as one of the huge elephants sitting over there. And everything was uneven. I'm talking about 2014. I think that was the only giant structure standing. Today you come from the Bandra ceiling too early. You will be proud of it, the kind of brands.
Thank you for that.
The skyline, I really enjoy traveling from Lokhandwala to my office in Lower Parel. It's beautiful seeing the skyline over there. So that's one proud thing to go on for. Infrastructure, yes, should be created, because if my office is in Lower Parel. We have India Bulls, all the mill land being packed. We have Lodha Park. We have Birla Niara coming in. We have Raheja Altimus. There's too much of density. There's only this one patch of road which will take you to the sea link. How will that
I look at Manhattan. I look at that in the future 10 years to be like Manhattan. Honestly.
So that is one. Now, that's all on the lighter note. Coming back to the legal aspects, there's a lot of excitement on redevelopment. We've seen tenders being filled in by developers at the cost of 25, 30 tenders for a society at a size of 600 square meter also. The excitement is there. The developers want to book, enter into redevelopment agreement. A decade ago, if you enter into redevelopment, it was a niche practice, because there was some land, there was SRA to be built, Panvel is building up, and nobody thought of so much rampant redevelopment going on, because thanks to the Chief Minister and his team, we have the metro project, we have the coastal line. It's because of that everybody wants to see a beautiful skyline. When you travel from the metro, you travel from the coastal road. Fingers crossed if we see a Shobha's board also through the skyline, that's what they wish for. And so if the excitement a decade ago was very different. One-sided contracts. The developers would have their say in the contract, because there's a leading developer who used to come. Societies would have a tier 2, tier 3 or a tier 4 law firm with them to represent them. Usually it's easy to convince them from a developer's legal team to agree to this clauses saying, bharosa rakhiye, koi dikkat nahi, ho jayega, it'll be a good project. And definitely they do mark up. But nowadays societies and even the lenders have become very smart. We represent in Khaitan & Company at least 12 to 15 societies ourselves, and they're happy to engage top law firms. Many other law firms at our peer are engaging with societies also. So it's not that easy for developers and the legal team to negotiate a contract with the society. And it becomes worse when a developer wants to create a lender for the redevelopment project, because the ask of the lender would be, I need a mortgage on the development right of the developer, receivables of the free sale component, and I need the society to even mortgage the land to me. Because without that, I may not have a full security. I may not be able to chain up the society if there is an enforcement proceeding. Societies refuse. And they're right to refuse. They're saying it's just land. They're all middle class people. They really don't want their land to get into an enforcement proceedings under an IBC or a SURFACE proceedings. So they refuse. This is how we come into the picture to explain to the developer, four stakeholders, as you said, to the developer, to the society, to the lender and the free sale buyers, that how you need to structure the document today. You cannot go ultra legal. If you go ultra legal now, how have you been going? RERAs, consumer forums, your high court, your NCLTs will be filled with cases the way it is going on. There is no roadway to any of the stakeholders on what's going to happen unless someone comes up out of the court. So what we advise, if I'm representing a society, I will not try to impress upon the society that you have these robust clauses. Have a very strong termination clause. Have a good event of default. If the developer goes into liquidation, if there is funding issue, if the developer does not matches the milestone of construction. Earlier, there used to be, you have a good, robust termination clause, you have a consequences of termination, the developer only has a license to enter the property, please terminate that and let them be at bay, and you enjoy having a new developer in place. But now RERA has come into place. It's very difficult for us to advise a society to have these robust clauses, because if society acts upon that termination clause, free sale buyers will come against the society, because RERAs are giving mixed views today on whether society steps into the shoe of the developer as a promoter, because they are also meant to be a co-promoter, even though they don't declare themselves on the website as promoters, but they become a co-promoter under law, which is a fact from the MOFA day and even from RERA regime. So there they fall into a problem. We are seeing a lot of plethora of cases where free sale buyers have no choice remaining, but they'll have to litigate against the society for claiming refund of their money or directing the society to give possession of their flat. From where will society give a possession of their flat? So there we say, please be very careful. Then if there is an event of default, the lender will also create an event of default, because they have cross default provisions. That if there is a default between the society and the developer, there's an event of default in the financing document between the developer and the lender. There again, society is in a big array of issues, because lenders will try to enforce the security, will try to take the property into SURFACE or into IBC proceedings. Society is stuck at there. So society faces issues from the developer, litigate to enforce the termination. They face issue from the lender, because there's a tug of war between there. Lender will force all the rights to not let the society terminate the development agreement, because the core security of the lender then vanishes in thin air. Then you have the free sale buyers. If society terminates and say, no, it's very unjust to us, free sale buyers will come against them. High courts are supporting society, saying that you will not be considered as a co-promoter. You will have to go sit with the association and find a new developer. So from all these angles, we actually are advising a lot of lenders or developers or societies to say that if there is a termination, please sit across the table, give 6 months to 1 year period to all of them to cool down, and direct the lender or the developer to get a new DM, development manager, or get new funding and revive the project. If that is not happening within that cure period of 6 months or 1 year, then automatic termination, and then let the law take its own course. Successfully, I may not name, but there's a project in Bandra, and there are 2-3 other examples we have where we have structured it in a manner where the lender has attempted to initiate an action against the existing developer who has defaulted. And somehow the society, developer, lender came together and they found a good development manager. The project is up and running, and through the development manager, everybody are very happy, but it needs to be structured. Everybody should not have their ego battle on table.
Super. I think that was an absolute masterclass about the legal do's and don'ts. Great. Milind, I'll come to you now. We'll go in a rapid fire format, 15 minutes and quick questions. Hyderabad is a city with unlimited FSI, and now it's sort of seeing, because you can't gauge what really is the potential of the plot. 5.4 FSI across the city is now well known to even the kid in the family, but there are certain provisions within the DCPR which allow you to really go up in double digits also, if you really, the plot has the potential and the commissioner agrees to what you are proposing. given this frenzy of FSI, and we've observed that when FSI grows, actually it's the landlord or the society which really gains, although media believes the developers stand to benefit, but not the case really. How do you see livability going in Mumbai as a city? Because everyone's just there to maximize FSI instead of optimizing FSI, which should be the base case really to start with.
So financial feasibility is the most important. Nothing goes against that. But as designers, if you stop looking at only financial feasibility and do not look at the design aspect or the livability aspect, I think you will create only vertical slums and nothing else. Also, designers have to be conscious for simple things like agar ACs bhi dal rahe hai, to at least create spaces properly. Otherwise, the city is going to look quite shit. So it is a challenge, but it is also a solvable challenge where you can use sustainability or you can use livability aspects, and cluster does play a major role in that, to be honest. Compared to individual developments, when you go for cluster developments, you have all the amenities, facilities that make it much more livable. Your clubhouse sizes, I was talking about, in the discussion that one of our projects, the clubhouse size itself is 65,000 square feet. So imagine, if you're doing a single project, you're going to create a gym at the most. But if you start creating a cluster, you start having amenities, facilities, from 20,000 square feet to 65,000 square feet, and these are not spaces just inside the flat, but these are outside, which make it more livable. And that's what the city and the whole redevelopment fraternity needs to do today.
Great. I'll extend this thought process to Lalitji. Shobha is known for its quality globally. And, given the kind of scale and density that Mumbai redevelopment requires, because you remember you also have a redevelopment angle. So you have a rehabilitation component where people with 150, 200 square foot go as high as 600 square foot. So they get almost 3 times the area, especially in a cluster. And plus you have an equivalent proportion of free sale component. So how is Shobha looking to address this fix, especially in cluster, where you get the land, but you don't really get the density that you desire?
So basically, we don't see a challenge in terms of the quality part of it. Yes, the density could be very high. We do understand that. But quality itself is a function of how you want to design that particular project. Like we believe in something called as a backward integration model, where our entire design and engineering is with us. We have our in-house workmen, we have our in-house factories, and we have even our quality assurances, which are all in-house.
So this is something, sorry to interrupt, but even it's a case study of Shobha's backward integration in real estate. So I would really want you to spend some time explaining this.
Maybe I can, take a minute to explain that. So yes, it's a case study with Harvard Law School as well. And what we typically do is we have designed the entire construction canvas into 28 different activities. So I would say if we have to look at a book, it has 28 chapters. So there are 28 activities. Let's say tiling is one of them. Now each of the activity is further subdivided. There is of course a procedure, so how that tiling has to be done. But the tiling mason who does it, so that is where it actually starts. He knows what kind of tools and equipments are required for, say, 200 square feet to be constructed. So that is also part of the manual. The manual also talks about what will be the methodology for the quality inspection. So the mason knows very well that whatever he does, these are the things they are going to check in terms of quality. The third aspect is what are the lab tests that will be done. So that is also a standard. And final thing is, yes, there are checklists. So there are 72 checklists and 1456 checkpoints each of the project has to go through. This pretty much is our culture. So we do rigorously, as rigorous as you can think about. And there are 4 snags that happens in the entire lifespan of the project. And that's the way quality comes out. I think it's a bit
fantastic,
longest kind of an answer.
Mumbai is set to get pampered with this quality. Mumbai customers are known to be the most tolerant ones who just expect a home in time. I think the way benchmarks at these levels, but super, it's absolutely a case study. We really admire this kind of approach.
Thank you.
Slightly changing the tone from redevelopment, there is also self-redevelopment, which is discussed. And recently we saw a plot in Bandra. Akbarji is over here. He was instrumental in doing that, seeing self-redevelopment. And that's caught a lot of momentum of the government as well. Sanjay ji, you interact a lot with societies, with developers. What's the thought process, ground reality on self? I don't want the media answer. I want the ground reality on where really self-redevelopment is.
So self-redevelopment is a preferred option with the society, but gets stuck with the finances available to them for kicking off the project in terms of approvals, in terms of mobilizing the site, etc. So there is another concept which we have suggested for those societies who are willing to look at self-redevelopment is to look at a development management model being carried out by the societies where they appoint a development manager who has the responsibility of bringing in the finances which are required initially to kickstart the project as well as for the approvals, and then later on meeting the cash flow requirements through the sales, etc., etc. So this is what we are pitching to the societies who are looking at self-redevelopment. So whatever surplus remains at the end of the project gets distributed to the members over and above the area which is being bought by the members at the initial stage. So honestly, this is a vertical which needs to be looked into in terms of making finances available to the societies who are looking at self-redevelopment. Right now, only the cooperative banks, that too with a limited corpus, is funding those projects against the mortgage of the land title. So again, getting the approval of the general body to mortgage the land is the biggest challenge with the society who is looking at a self-redevelopment model. This needs to be looked into by the government and the authorities, how that can be promoted, especially for the societies which are in the category of 600 to 1200 square meters, where for them to get a reputed brand to take the redevelopment is not possible, not feasible also for the incoming developer, but very well workable for those societies to get into a self-redevelopment model.
As pure experience and an extremely practical solution, DM model with developer putting 25-30% equity is the best way out for these smaller layouts which are 600 to 1000 meters.
So absolutely we advise our all clients, be it societies or be it developers, any redevelopment opportunity has to be legally and technically buildable. It has to be financially feasible and fundable. And then it has to be finally commercially sellable. Then only it makes sense to get into a redevelopment. Just not the rent corpus or the additional area what they are looking at is the sole criteria to get into redevelopment.
So at a recent CREDAI change of guard event, Honorable Chief Minister said that Mumbai has the potential to even overtake Dubai. And Nitesh, I'm going to bring you in on this one. We all look up to Dubai for a lot of things. There's global benchmarking, quality, branded residences, standard. Of course, whatever city provides in terms of infrastructure safety is there. But from real estate, it's really a case study, and from infrastructure as well. You spend sizable time in Dubai. What are the lessons, from the shortcomings of Dubai, which Mumbai should keep in mind? And if policymakers were really listening into this, what would you share from your Dubai experience, which should be lessons from there, which Mumbai should keep in mind?
Sir, first of all, I would say that Dubai is a one-man ownership rule wherein Sheikh Mohammed is the final decision maker. With due respect to our country, we are a democratic country, so there are multiple stakeholders involved. There is different finance ministries. The same is the goes in Dubai. But Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed, his idea when in 1981, when he thought of Dubai, had a dream that he wants to make a world-class place for the entire world, people from Singapore and other countries to come and live in Dubai, wherein it's a new city which is being planned in a way where they had an option to hire the best urban design. My own cousin sister works for SOM. SOM has done Burj Khalifa. My sister was a part of Burj Khalifa. When it comes to Bombay, see, Bombay is a place which has evolved over time. There has not been an urban development properly which has happened. We have been following the same roads from last ages. We've been following the same road widths what we have till today. So Mumbai being a place like central London where already there have been developments, so there are lots of challenges. So to overcome those in terms of Dubai, what I feel is that we will have to have, first of all, Dubai is going for sustainable construction. They are going for thermolite blocks. We are planning to introduce thermolite blocks which will reduce energy carbon emission. When it comes to being Dubai, Mumbai becoming Dubai, I feel that there is a lot of education required towards platinum LEED rated buildings, gold LEED rated buildings, because future is going towards zero carbon emission. If I look at my daughter who's 5 years, Nyshaa, whom the name of the company is, she can use my iPhone, she can use my iPad, she knows to use Chat GPT, she knows to speak on Chat GPT, which is something I am really shocked. So if you see the generation, the mindset is changing. So coming to Mumbai, I would suggest that Dubai has a single window system where all the approvals of CRZ, of MOFA, of BMC, premiums, all come in a single ticket window. So that reduces the time. We are working on a project where I have got an IOD, I'm waiting for an IOD past 6 months, where I have still not gotten CRZ approval, wherein CRZ has been already released. So I feel we need to work on these parameters. Secondly, we need to work on community living, like what Milind Chengnani Saab said, that cluster development. So in my cluster development, which we are planning to do in Warsaw, it's about approximately 12,000 square meters, where we are planning to have an integrated hospital. We have clubhouse for children. We are planning to have everything under one roof. So my suggestion to our Honorable Prime Minister is that we need to have, first of all, grading of developers. So we need to first categorize the developers based on the scalability, based on the volumes. So if some developer who has done 5 lakh square feet or more than 5 lakh square feet could come in a grade A developer, there needs to be liquidity. So I am doing a luxury residential project in one of the prime sea-facing properties, where I am furnishing 100 crore bank guarantee as a liquidity for 18 months, showing that I have the sufficient investor funds to do the project. So I personally feel that even finance plays a very important role, because lots of new developers who are coming, by offering extra area, they are planning to take these projects. But guys, listen, these middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class families, they have been living in these houses for 40 years. This is something which is their dream, where they have lived for ages. We need to build trust on them. We cannot have any chances of letting go that any project not being built. Today morning, I will share a message with you with one of my friends from Dubai, Mukesh Lekwani. Unfortunately, he has invested 3 crores in a project in Sion, and there are 70 investors from Dubai. They've been struggling for 3 years with a very reputed developer, and he called me and said, Nitesh, can you help me here? Because it was my hard-earned money for years. I was living in Sion, I'm doing a job in Dubai. All my money is at stake. So I personally feel Devendra Saab needs to look at a framework of grading of developers, seeing their net worth, seeing their liquidity. If people don't have liquidity, I feel don't get into this game. There are, I would suggest, Wadhwani Saab can suggest that termination and legal clauses of RERA, I feel imprisonment also should be put into place if the timelines are not being met, because this is not a joke. We are talking of lives of hundreds and thousands of people. So this is what my opinion is. And when it comes to Dubai, sir, I don't find that in the next 10 years, we won't cross Dubai, but at least where we are today, we can be at least 50-60% of Dubai. This is what I personally feel.
Super. I think great points. Just like banking has KYC, know your customer, we need to have KYD, know your developer. And RERA actually licenses the project, it doesn't license the developer, which Dubai actually does. So, but we have our own private limited LLP partnership sole proprietor concepts, which is why it becomes a web. So I'm going to move to a closing note. Sujoy, at this point of time, Mumbai redevelopment is seeing a very interesting trend. There is a family office which is taking up the job of cleaning up the plot, vacating the plot, and then there is a corporate balance sheet which is actually coming in and completing, from vacating to OC, which is actually proving to be a good formula win-win for the cluster redevelopment, which Milind and Lalit and most of the panelists talk really high about. And that seems to be the perfect solution of the missing leg, because the corporate balance sheet is not able to do the job which is pre-vacating, and the family office is not really able to do the job which is post-vacating, which Nitesh made an emotional appeal to. So you've had a corporate background. You also have an entrepreneurial background. So this is the most apt question to close our panel with, that how do you see this chain of activity shaping the larger developments going forward in Mumbai scheme of things?
So, as you rightly put it, the main difference between a corporate background and an entrepreneurial background or mindset is ability to take risk, and obviously in a corporate setup, you are more short term and medium term in vision. So your vision, a long term vision, is more for a family office like you mentioned. So this was pretty prevalent till 2010 for slum redevelopment projects also, where we had many tie-ups, the earliest being Hubtown and DLF, Unitech and Hubtown and others pre-2010. But as you rightly said, this is now becoming a trend instead of being a one-off. Some of the risks and the time it takes to clear these and bring from being inhabited by people to making them plain playgrounds per se are some of the risks that family offices can easily take, and then handing it over to a corporate post that seems to be a trend going forward. So absolutely.
I think on this note, we will wrap up the panel. Thank you everyone for all your insights. I think redevelopment should not be looked as an activity to multiply your family's net worth. It should actually be an activity where you get a good experience, good living style, a green building, and something which is more livable and enhances your standard of living. I think if that approach is followed by the stakeholders, and this is across the board, then Mumbai will not be saddled with stall projects, but we'll see actually quality of life come back to the city. Thank you everyone.
Harshal, so I would like to add that if you see recently Blackstone has bought 66% equity in Colte Palte developers. I find this as a very positive move.
Absolutely.
We are also tying up with a very, very big fund which has a value of about $50 billion, where we are working on a business model of structuring how the fund and a developer can work together on a business ratio where they come in as an equity partner, we put in the seed capital, and we work on a minimum interest to be given to the fund, plus the coupon, after the coupon is being given to them, then the residual profit has been shared. So the idea is that I feel finance is the key, approval is the key, many other things which will fall in place, plus sustainability in terms of the material, reuse of materials is also the key, of what kind of materials are we using in development of the building considering the carbon emission factor. So thank you Harshal so much for your time. Thanks a lot sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to all our eminent panelists. Of course, a key topic being discussed, and I'm sure all of you were gripped right to your seats. As you can see, it's a full house here in Mumbai. With that, if I may request Rohit Kedia, founder and CEO of ARC VI, to please join us on stage and help us in giving a token of appreciation to all our panelists. Let's give Rohit a big, big round of applause as we welcome him, and may I request all our panelists to please step forward. Starting, of course, with Amit Wadhwani. Thank you so much for joining us. May we request the both of you to step forward in the center, allow us an opportunity to capture our dignitaries in one frame. Your applause is truly supported at the background. Let's give them a mighty round of applause. Thank you so much, Amit. Thank you, Lalit, for joining us. Truly a pleasure hearing from Lalit Lahoti. Let's give him a warm, warm round of applause. An incredible leader right there, Lalit. Thank you so much. May I also request Milind Changani to please step forward. Milind, always a delight to have you on the platform. Let's give him Milind a big round of applause. Nitesh, what an honor it has been. Truly a passionate speaker right there. Let's give him a bigger round of applause. Nitesh Gangaramani, thank you so much for joining us. We'd also like to invite Sanjay Daga, thank you so much for joining us. All the key inputs by Sanjay, let's encourage him with a big, big round of applause. Sujay, of course, we'd like to humbly thank you towards the end. His closing notes were so fantastic. Let's give Sujay Kalale a big, big round of applause. And this conversation wouldn't have been complete without our session chair. Let's give him a mighty round of applause, Dr. Advocate Harshal Savla. Thank you so much for curating such a wonderful conversation. May I request all our panelists to please step forward along with our presenter, allow us an opportunity to capture you all in one frame. Second mega panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen. It's full house here in Mumbai. Let's give them a big, big round of applause. What a great 17th edition of the Realty Plus Conclave right here in Mumbai. And we'd like to humbly thank all our panelists for joining us.